Thank you so much, Shiga. Thank you, and lovely to see everyone in the audience here. Lee, uh, I'm just going to ask you right away. This is your first trip to India. I know that it's a big growth market for Spotify. What are your plans? How have you spent your time here? You've been having a lot of close encounters. So, how's it been?
No, it's been amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for doing this with me. In my role, I travel all over the world and get to go to a bunch of different cities and a bunch of different markets, but this is one of those markets that's truly unique. And what I see here and the things that I see, there's a moment in time, especially this year in 2023, where I feel like a lot of the investments that have been done in this country, you all have built more than 55,000 kilometers of highways in the last 6 years. You've built more homes than the entire continent of Australia. You've built a lot of this infrastructure. Your economy is growing at 6.8%. It doesn't look like it's slowing down. Digital advertising is overtaking traditional advertising, and those trends are continuing. So a lot of these tailwinds, a lot of these macro conditions I see are really providing a ripe environment for this marketplace in particular, for us, to come in and capture. And we've seen that in the growth of our own audience. And so we're celebrating our 4th year in India, and we've seen explosive growth. ComScore has us well over 50 million monthly actives, and we're growing quickly, and we expect to surpass 100 here soon. So.
That's some astounding numbers, but my compliments, you've done your research on India as well. I mean, everything that you are telling us. As the global head of...
It's a long flight.
It is. As a global head of advertising, business, and platform for Spotify, I think I read somewhere that, Spotify's CEO, Daniel, has actually said that 20% of your revenue is going to be coming from advertising, which is approximately over 10 billion euros over time.
Yes.
Big numbers. How do you intend to get there?
Yeah, I wish he would talk to me beforehand, but I'm just kidding. We expect a lot more, and I think that we see a huge opportunity for us there. There's a lot that we have to get done, but we're continuing to grow our platform. We just surpassed, we announced last week, we just surpassed 500 million fans, we call them fans, listeners, on our platform, and we continue to see growth coming from there. India is providing a big boost to that, so thank you. We're also investing heavily in our teams, bringing in the experts across the industry for content, for technology, and for sales, obviously. We plan to grow our team here massively in India, like significantly. So we're making those investments. Again, 2023 seems to be a great year to make those investments. The talent market is full of amazing people and amazing talent, and we're investing and we're hiring for sure. We're also investing in measurement. I was just listening to the group before us, we know how important measurement and proof of sales and proof of value of the media. So we're investing significantly. We've purchased a few companies in the last few years around measurement. One on the advertising side called PodSites, which we're able to bring attribution measurement to audio for the first time. So we're really modernizing audio. We're bringing addressability, we're bringing measurement, and we're bringing targetability to the medium. And so that's something that we're excited about delivering to the advertisers. And then lastly is we're investing significantly in our platform, our advertising platform. So building out things like industry-leading tools, like our self-serve platform, bringing new things to market for podcasts and specifically with our audience network. We're able to buy audiences across podcasts, not just show by show. And then lastly is providing transparency on podcast advertising through our streaming ad insertion technology. So right now the marketplace is buying downloads. We think the marketplace will want to buy listens in the future, and we've got the technology in place to do that.
Excellent. I mean, you seem to have covered all aspects. There's the platform, there's getting the right people there, there's measurement, which is so important, and particularly in advertising. During the pandemic, I noticed that everybody was, talking about Spotify and music and the fact of the playlists they were making. It really seems that Spotify has moved center stage in everyone's life, It's really not a background medium as it was. And you've done this amazing thing called Sonic Science. I've been through Sonic Science. There have been 2 editions of Sonic Science?
There are. We just released the second one a month
ago. And for those of you who don't know, Sonic Science is something that demonstrates how audio impacts you both emotionally and physically while you're listening. The study is absolutely incredible. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it and some key takeaways that would be relevant to the people here?
Sure. I'll first start with the consumer trends that we see before I get into the actual geeking out on the brain and the electrodermal study that we did on how the brain reacts to audio. First, the two big consumer trends that we saw emerging, why Spotify is coming center stage, why audio is becoming the thing. If you look 10 years ago at, I just went to Bandra Station yesterday in Mumbai and tried to see all the crowds and see everybody on the train. And if you look at that probably 10 years ago, nobody has headphones in. You fast forward to today, and a lot of people are wearing headphones. They're choosing audio throughout the most intimate parts of their life, whether it's commuting, whether it's gardening, whether it's exercising, and so forth. And so audio has become front and center for the consumer. They're choosing that to be their sort of daily playlist, their playlist to their life. The second thing that you see is that Gen Zs and most of us will walk into rooms and just ask audio questions and expect answers back. And so as more homes have become connected, as more devices become connected, walking into a room, my son walks in a room and is like, what's the weather today? And expects the answer back. And I think he's talking to me. I don't know what the weather is. And so it's coming through audio. So how we're interacting with machines is very much being driven by audio and voice. And so even me sending a text to you, he would be like, why are you texting? Why don't you just tell the machine what to do? And so we see that as like a massive trend within the consumer. And so for any brand that's not expecting to engage with their consumers through audio or through voice, they're already behind the curve. And so that's coming just from those consumer trends. So when you look at those consumer trends, that's putting audio sort of first and foremost in the life. We like to study the impact of that, and we like to study how the brain reacts. When you listen to something, it's the theater of your mind. You have to imagine it yourself. And so have you ever had that thing where maybe you haven't seen Roshan and you've just listened to him, and then all of a sudden you see him, you're like, oh my gosh, that's not at all what I thought he looked like in my mind. That's not who I pictured. That is sort of the power of the mind and power of the audio, of like forcing your mind to develop that story, develop that creative, without being shown it. And so we like to study what that looks like in terms of recall, retention, and impact. And those are like things that we bring out in Sonic Science. There's boundless takeaways from the study, but one of the key things that from this second one was that people come to Spotify and are in a good mood. Like you don't come to Spotify, like sometimes when you're on social media, it might cause you to be depressed or cause you some anxiety or whatever. People are coming to Spotify to listen and to like the good vibes that they get from Spotify. And they often have this like, they leave and that halo effects transfers over to the advertising as well as to the content they're listening to. And so that's one of the key results that we see coming out of it.
No, and I think one of the things that you just said, that when you go there, it just puts you into the right mood. And you carry that mood like a halo through the rest of the day. While there are other places where if you go, you end up almost, I don't even want to name them, but there's enough dissing that's happened to them otherwise.
It's a positive environment. It's one of those places that you're discovering new music that you're going to love in the future. You're listening and learning to podcasts that you want to explore topics and learn more about. And it's just one of those platforms that gives you an emotional high and gives you some good vibes.
Yeah, some of my friends who are into podcasting here in this country keep saying that it's a great place both for discovery and for deeper engagement. There's so much that ends up happening.
Yeah, we're one of the things that artists like most about our platform is that when they launch a song, they're able to tell within hours if it's going to be a banger, if it's going to be a hit. Like the metrics, the streaming intelligence that we provide artists enable them to like impact their work, impact their creative. It also enables them to plan their tours. So if they're planning to do a stop in Mumbai versus Delhi, they will go and look at the most popular songs streamed on Spotify and plan their set list on what they're playing in each of these markets. We want to provide that same type of intelligence to podcasters as well as to advertisers. So by leveraging all of that streaming intelligence and bringing it to podcasters, for example, where are they skipping over segments? Where are they starting your show? What are they engaging with? That kind of deep level, that was the other company that we purchased last year named Chartable, provides that kind of intelligence to podcasters to get better at their work, to earn a larger audience, and to have a better story to tell.
Since you said that you've got so many insights and you're getting to know, artists are getting to know that if they're playing in a different city, their playlist might be different just because of the kind of music that's heard. And you would know this because Delhi would be hearing something completely different, Bombay would be listening to something completely unique. Are there some unique insights into the Indian minds that you've got? I mean, for our friends from the advertising community, there must be a lot of really unique things you've discovered.
There are tons. I mean, especially the uniqueness of the market compared to other markets. I mean, this won't surprise anybody in this room. But there are very few places around the world where the majority of the population speaks at least 2 languages, maybe 3 or 4. And so as you start to think about programming, as you start to think about content delivery, delivering in multiple languages to the same individual is a very unique thing here within India. And so how do you think about that from a creative perspective for advertising? How do you think about that from a playlist perspective? How do you think about that from an editorial perspective? Is very unique to this location for sure. And then we even see like languages like Punjabi or Korean or Spanish that are super popular among Gen Zs. They don't understand the language necessarily, but they love the music and they can relate to the culture. And so those become super popular here. The other one that's really unique here is Discovery and Stars are driven by film. Like that's not usual, like that's not a common thing anywhere else in the world, but film drives a lot of music discovery, it drives a lot of music hits, it drives a lot of that popularity. And so that is very unique to this market. And then lastly, I'd say is there's a large contingent of listeners here that love indie artists. There's a lot more passion, there's a lot more support, there's a lot more interest in new and emerging sort of indie artists, and our playlist we call Radar, which is discovering these new artists, is one of the most popular in the world here, and one of the most successful in the world in our environment in India. And you know, we're translating that by having our Radar events and so forth, and enabling these artists to grow an audience and to earn a living off their craft.
You know, with understanding how important audio is in everyone's life here with Spotify, you guys are very bullish on the advertising as well, and a key partner to this is media agencies.
Yes.
You know, how do you really feel that they can take advantage of digital audio? Are there some examples or some guidelines that you could give us?
Yeah, I mean, after being in the business for nearly 25 years now, I look back at historical sort of moments in time where things have changed considerably. And I think, you know, if you look back just at video 15 years ago, and video was a very top of the funnel medium. It was very branding. The notion of like DR or outcome-based buying was super foreign. All the investments that were made in video at that time, whether it was devices, short form, it started with bandwidth, making sure that we could watch video. It started with mobile bandwidth, making sure that we could watch it on the run and in our palm in our hand. And then it started with content creation, and like the formats changed slowly over time. It was like, oh, we're not going to watch 30 minutes or 2 hours. We're going to watch 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And so as formats changed, as technology evolved, and as the advertiser and as the consumer shifted their time and attention to that media, there became a lot more opportunities for innovation, for format innovation, and for outcome-based buying technologies to emerge. The same thing is happening right now for audio, the exact same thing. And so that kind of investment that went into video is now being put into audio, from connected devices, connected homes, connected speakers, connected cars, through voice, through AI. All those changes are coming, and I see a world, and we see a world, where audio can be a big player within DR, can be a big player within branding, can play across the full spectrum for advertisers.
There's a statement that I came across saying the future of audio is not next year, it's now.
It is, well, it was last year.
It was last year.
We're in it. So yeah, the future of audio is certainly here at our doorstep, and we sort of feel like the investments that we're making and the adoption that's happening in the marketplace, in the consumer trends that we talked about earlier, is driving a lot of that. And I think for advertisers, they're starting to recognize, like, as they struggle with the diversification of their budget and understanding what returns they get from it, shifting from traditional, there are two big trends with that, shifting from traditional to digital, as we see with digital overtaking traditional for the first time here last year. And then also diversifying away from sort of the duopoly or even FANG, whatever you want to call it, and making sure that they're getting incremental reach, making sure they have other environments in which to engage differently with their audiences. We see a lot of opportunity there for us to fill that need.
Everybody's talking about AI, everybody's talking about the kind of things that are happening. Are you going to be introducing some new features here? What should India look forward to?
Well, we just announced something in the last 3 weeks called AI DJ. It's live in the US and UK and will be coming here very soon. And it is it's leveraging AI technology to be your personal assistant. It knows exactly, like, personalization and discovery is at the heart of what Spotify does. In our DNA, we like to think that there's not 500 million listeners on Spotify, but like in Spotify. Every single Spotify account is very different. Your playlists, your preferences, your personalization, what you like to listen to, and so forth. And so because of that uniqueness, we think that we can deploy AI at scale and have a lot better success at delivering you the music that, and introducing you to the music that you will love and that you will want to enjoy.
Well, it's incredible. How many people in this room have listened to a podcast? Anybody? Can you raise your hands? Yeah. It's you know, I just wanted to ask you, saying that it's a market that in India it's a trend we're noticing. I'm seeing a lot of influencers getting onto this as well. There's audio drama. There's so much that's happening in that space. Would you just spend a minute on podcasting and what you believe is its future?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of innovation coming to that space. We are doing our best to simplify it. We want to make sure that advertisers know that they can reach audiences at scale, because they want to buy audiences in brand safe environments, and understand if they're listening to the ad and what kind of impact and what kind of result did that have. So we're innovating across all of those and making sure that we can bring simple solutions, easy for advertisers to transact on, into that space. It was super complex early in terms of show base and RSS and downloads, but the space is quickly evolving, and we're at the forefront of that, and we're excited about the opportunity for advertisers to engage there in the future.
We talk to media agencies. The other partner always is the brand, right? And brands are constantly looking to do new things. I mean, there's always this excitement, but then how do you guide them to make the right decisions? Are there some examples? Is there anything that you can tell us about brands that have leveraged Spotify?
Oh, boundless. Like, yeah. We just did a great one, and I'm sorry, I was just in the UK last week, so this one's fresh on top of my mind. But we did a great campaign with EasyJet, and we were launching. They wanted to tie destinations with playlists, and so we were able to say, oh, if you want to go, if you're interested in these kinds of playlists, here are the right destinations that you may want to go to, because so we're tying sort of travel with that, and there were some key insights in there in terms of what that looks like, and then obviously as they went through the funnel and when they went through the process, we were able to provide sort of customized playlists for those locations when and if they transacted.
It's fantastic. I mean, how you wouldn't think of it before, but when you tell us, it sounds so simple that here are these playlists which were the ones we would want to leverage, or these are the ones that work perfectly with travel.
Right.
Incredible. It seems that there's so much that's going to happen in the years to come.
Yes.
But more than that, you said in the beginning that this market is really growing for you, and you're growing your teams here as well. So you're really bullish about India, right?
Oh, extremely. We are investing heavily across all aspects of our business here. We are hiring aggressively. We've already tripled the size of our team. We will be doing more in this year for sure. And so we think there's a great moment in time here, leveraging the investments, leveraging all the macro trends, all the tailwinds that we see, and leading the marketplace within the audio context.
Sounds absolutely incredible. India has been in the news everywhere. People have been talking about it the last couple of days, even more so. Is there a song that you feel really can sum up where India is in your Spotify journey? What is it?
I mean, this will be American, but Nadu Nadu, right?
Anybody knows the step? Does anybody here know the step? I want to know if anybody here knows the step. No? I think half the prize was because of the reason of getting that, that entire thing across. I don't know. I'm not going to ask Lee to do that for us.
No.
But can we give a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? It was absolutely fantastic hearing from Lee. Can we get a picture of everyone here?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I don't think we've got time for questions, but he's here for a bit in case you all want to catch Lee or the team members from Spotify. Please do find them, because there's some great plans that we have. A big round of applause. Come on. There's no tax on applause, as you all know, in India, even now, so we can do that. Thank you. Thank you so much.